The clock is ticking on a looming disaster that could shatter the foundation of one of the NFL's most intimidating defensive lines. A superstar is waiting, a massive deadline is rapidly approaching, and the silence from the front office is becoming deafening. Why is one of the most explosive defensive talents in the league still sitting on a ticking time bomb of an expiring deal? Before we dive deep into the numbers and the drama, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. This isn't just about a contract. It is about the identity of a franchise that pridefully builds from the trenches out. We are looking at a situation that feels increasingly like a masterclass in risk, or perhaps a potential betrayal of the team's own homegrown talent. Jalen Carter. The name alone strikes fear into opposing offensive lines. He's 25 years old, a physical anomaly, and has proven that when he is healthy and locked in, he is arguably the most impactful force on the field. Yet, as we stand in the sweltering heat of mid-July, he remains without a long-term extension. Look at the history. The organization has established a clear pattern. They identify their core pillars, they nurture them, and they lock them down before the final year of their rookie contracts begins. From Jalen Hurts to Devonta Smith, and from Landon Dickerson to Cam Jurgens, they all got their paper in the spring before their fourth season. So what is the holdup? Is it the memory of a difficult previous campaign? We saw the battles with bilateral shoulder issues and the struggle to maintain peak conditioning. The team is asking themselves a billion-dollar question. Can they trust that this massive investment will be safe for years to come? And then there is the elephant in the room, the agent. Drew Rosenhaus is a shark who knows how to reset the market. By waiting, the team hasn't just created uncertainty. They have likely cost themselves millions. Because while they hesitated, the Tennessee Titans blew the doors off the salary structure by paying Jeffrey Simmons. Who is truly to blame for this standoff? The front office for playing hardball, or the player for not hitting his ceiling consistently? Drop a name in the comments below and tell me who deserves the heat. But the plot thickens even further. There is a specific date etched in red on the calendar. August 1st. That is when a massive $2.58 million training camp roster bonus is due. Will we see a holdout? Will the team buckle? Or will the player take a stand? But before we get to the fallout of that date, let's talk about the shocking news regarding where these players actually rank among the league's elite. Forget the rumors and the hot takes. We have the cold, hard reality provided by the most prestigious, cumulative poll in the league. The annual deep dive featuring voices from across the front offices and coaching staffs of the NFL. It turns out, despite the noise, this roster is absolutely loaded with top-tier talent. When you look at the teams with the most players ranked in the top 10 of their respective positions, the reality is clear. This group is built to win it all. The Lions lead the pack, but sitting right there at number 2 are the Eagles, with 8 elite players dominating the rankings. Let's start with the backfield. Saquon Barkley. They voted him the 3rd best running back in the entire league. Think about that for a second. Even coming off a year where the offensive line didn't meet its own legendary standards, and even when the explosive plays weren't as frequent, the league still views him as a premier weapon. One high-ranking executive didn't mince words. If I need a running back for one season to win, I'm still taking him number 1. That is the kind of respect that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. But the real mystery lies in how the secondary is being reshaped, and wait until you hear the controversial debate surrounding the team's newest defensive sensation. Quinyon Mitchell has arrived, and the league has taken notice. 6th best cornerback in the NFL. In just his 2nd year, he has worked his way into first-team All-Pro status. He allowed fewer than 5 yards per target last year. Think about that. That is lockdown territory. Veteran coaches are calling him sticky, a guy who doesn't just play the ball. He lives in the receiver's jersey. And then there is the Swiss Army knife, Cooper DeJean. He cracked the top 10 as well, despite the endless debate about whether he's a safety, a slot corner, or something else entirely. It doesn't matter what you call him. It matters what he does. He hasn't allowed a single touchdown as a slot corner over 2 seasons. Not one. When you look at the draft brilliance that brought both Mitchell and DeJean into the fold in the same year, you realize this isn't just luck. This is a masterclass in personnel acquisition. But if the secondary is becoming a wall, what is happening at the heart of the defensive line? The evaluation of Jalen Carter is arguably the most divisive topic in the league. He is a game wrecker, a guy who changes the way an entire offense functions just by stepping onto the grass. Yet the stat sheets are modest. 13. 5 sacks over 3 years. Some voters are even whispering that he isn't the best defensive lineman on his own team. That honor, according to some, belongs to Jordan Davis. Davis, the 336-pound behemoth, has emerged as a legitimate star. He isn't just big, he is incredibly strong and consistent. Last year, his 72 tackles were third among all interior defensive linemen. When you look at his ability to hold up against double teams, you're looking at a man who anchors an entire unit. The consensus: Carter is the higher ceiling talent, but Davis might have been the more reliable force last season. The team is now facing a terrifying decision. Do they pay both these guys over $26 million a year? Or does the math force a heartbreaking departure? We cannot talk about this team without looking at the Giants protecting the quarterback. Jordan Mailata is sitting at the 4th best offensive tackle in the league. Even when the team's overall offensive production dipped, the scouts still recognized Mailata as scheme transcendent. He is the standard. And then there is the veteran, Lane Johnson. Even at 36, even after battling a Liz Frank injury that cost him 8 games, the league still considers him elite. One coach put it perfectly: he's a guy you can trust more than just about any other tackle to play at a high level. The only question remaining is that of the human body. Can the tires hold up for one more run? Finally, we have to talk about the turnaround of the century. Zach Bond, from the rankings for inside linebackers. From a part-time player to a 2-time Pro Bowl caliber force. He was the only player in the league last year with at least 120 tackles and 10 disrupted dropbacks. He is the linchpin of the defense, the perfect piece for this specific scheme. This team is not just good, it is deep. It is talented. It is battle-tested. They have used this off-season to recharge, to reflect, and to prepare for the storm that is coming. The window is wide open. The pieces are in place, but that ticking clock on the contract front, it won't be silent forever. The decisions made in the next few weeks will define the trajectory of this entire season. Everything is on the line. The potential for a Super Bowl run is staring them in the face. Will they pay the price to keep the band together, or will we see a fracture in this championship caliber roster? The answers are coming, and you better believe the rest of the league is watching every single move.